You ever move somewhere thinking it's going to be your sanctuary, only to find out you've landed in the middle of someone else's war? That's me, Jack Ramsey, retired Marine, 20 years dodging bullets in deserts half a world away, coming home to a patch of Iowa dirt my dad left me 40 acres of cornfields and a sagging barn that creaks like it's got stories of its own. I wasn't chasing some Hallmark movie dream, just a place to plant roots, fix up Dad's old John Deere tractor, and maybe sleep through a night without waking up to ghosts of sand and gunfire. But the day I met Linda Voss, president of the Willow Grove HOA, I realized peace was going to cost me a fight. It started simple in Nuff small town, Iowa, a place called Clearview Estates, a cookie-cutter suburb that sprouted up next to my land like dandelions in a corn row. Picture beige houses, manicured lawns, mailboxes all painted the same shade of HOA-approved taupe. I've been back a week, still unpacking boxes in my faded gray farmhouse, when Linda knocked not a neighborly tap, but a sharp, impatient rap, like she was serving a warrant. I opened the door, coffee mug in hand, and there she stood, mid-50s, hair sprayed stiff as a helmet, clutching a clipboard like it was her scepter. "You must be the new resident," she said, peering past me like she was inspecting my soul. "I'm the owner," I corrected, gesturing to the fields stretching out behind me. "This land's been Ramsey soil for 3 generations, not part of your subdivision." Her smile was thin, like she'd rehearsed it in a mirror. "Linda Voss, Willow Grove, HOA president. We have standards, Mr. Ramsey, and your equipment is already causing concerns." I blinked. "You mean my tractor? The one I use to farm my own land?" She didn't flinch. "It's about aesthetics. Our community values property values, and your machinery, well, it's not exactly curb appeal." I almost laughed, but the look in her eyes told me she wasn't joking. This wasn't a welcome wagon. This was a warning shot. I tried to keep my head down after that, focusing on the work clearing weeds, fixing irrigation lines, coaxing Dad's old tractor back to life. But Linda wasn't done. By week 2, I got a typed letter, hand-delivered, claiming my industrial equipment violated some vague community code. I checked the county records my land's zoned agricultural, always has been, no HOA strings attached. I tossed the letter in the burn pile and kept working. Then came the drone. I was in the barn one afternoon, elbow deep in grease, when I heard Ida low buzz, like a mosquito with a grudge. Looked up and saw a camera drone hovering over my cornfield, dipping low enough to kick up dust. I didn't need to guess who sent it. Linda's McMansion had a balcony with a perfect view of my property. I waved at the thing, nice and slow, and went back to work. That night, my buddy Tom, who lives in Clearview, texted me a screenshot from the HOA's online newsletter. There was a grainy photo of my tractor with the caption, "New neighbor's heavy machinery poses safety risks near school bus routes." Safety risks? My tractor was parked 50 yards from any road on my own dirt. Tom's text said it all. "Watch your 6, Jack. She's out for blood." I didn't budge. I'd faced worse than clipboard tyrant CIDs, ambushes, Pentagon red tape. I had the deeds, the permits, the surveys proving this land was mine, free and clear. My tractor was registered, my operation legal. Linda could huff and puff, but she wasn't blowing this house down. Still, she kept coming. More letters, more complaints to the county about noise violations and environmental hazards. Code enforcement showed up once, a tired guy named Carl who took one look at my property line, chuckled, and said, "She calls us about everything last week. It was a kid's lemonade stand." He signed off and left, but the pressure was building. Someone egged my mailbox one night. Linda drove by daily, snapping photos from her shiny white BMW. I started feeling eyes on my neighbors who'd never met me giving me the side, like I was some outlaw tearing up their suburban paradise. Harvest season hit, and that's when things went sideways. I was up at dawn, firing up the tractor, the old engine growling like it was ready to prove itself. The corn was golden, swaying in the breeze, and every row I cut felt like stitching myself back together after years of war. I was halfway through the first field when I saw Linda, standing on a lawn chair at the edge of her property, separated from my field by a wooden fence my dad built when Clearview started creeping in. She was in a neon green tracksuit, holding her phone up, filming me like I was a fugitive on the run. I kept driving. On the next pass, she was yelling, waving her arms, pointing at the dust cloud trailing my tractor. I stopped at the end of the row, wiped the sweat off my face, and walked over. "Morning, Linda," I said, keeping it calm. She didn't wait for me to finish. "This is outrageous. Your dust is choking my patio, my lungs, my dog. This is a residential area, not a factory." I looked back at the field. "Linda, this is a farm. Always has been. Harvest makes dust. That's how it works." Her face went tight. "We have children here, Mr. Ramsey. People trying to live peacefully. You're disturbing everything." I shrugged. "You bought a house next to a cornfield. What did you expect, Rose Gardens?" She went red, stormed off, her little terrier yapping at her heels. I thought that was it. I was wrong. By noon, I was back in the field, the tractor humming, when I heard an engine roar to close too fast. I looked up just in time to see Linda's BMW barreling down the gravel access road that runs along my field. She didn't slow down. My tractor was parked just off the path, blades up out of the way. She slammed into it hard, metal crunching like a gunshot. The BMW lurched back, horn blaring, and Linda stumbled out, already screaming. "You hit me. You left that thing in the road to attack me." I walked over slow, heart pounding, but steady like I was back in a firefight. She was on her phone, dialing 911. "Yes, I need help now. This man assaulted me with a tractor. It's blocking the road." Then she didn't even hesitate. She grabbed a rock from the gravel and chucked it in my tractor's windshield. A spiderweb crack bloomed across the glass. I didn't move, didn't yell, just looked up at the security camera I'd installed a week earlier, hidden in the barn overhang. It caught everything her speeding, the crash, the rock, the fake panic in her voice. She had no idea. When the cops showed up, Deputy Mike Harper, a guy I knew from high school, listened to Linda's performance, her voice quivering like she was auditioning for a soap opera. "He's been terrorizing us, officer. That machine's a menace." Mike walked over, glanced at the tractor, the cracked windshield, the BMW's crumpled hood. "You okay, Jack?" he asked. "Fine. Tractor's not." I handed him a USB drive with the footage. Camera got at all her speed, the hit, the rock she threw. Mike's eyebrow went up. "You got cameras out here?" I nodded. 3 angles. Time stamped. He took the drive, told Linda to stay put, and drove off to review at the station. She stood there, arms crossed, smirking like she'd already won. I went back to work. Corn doesn't wait. That night, I got an email from Linda's subject line: "Cease operations immediately." It was a wall of text accusing me of health hazards, noise violations, endangering kids. I forwarded it to my lawyer, Sarah, a no-nonsense friend from back in the day who knew land law like I knew a rifle. "She's got nothing," Sarah said, "but she's desperate. Watch yourself." The next day, I found a sign on the HOA's side of the fence. "Warning, dangerous machinery. Keep children away." Linda's phone number was printed in bold. I took a picture, added it to my growing file labeled Linda's Nonsense. Then things got uglier. Someone spray-painted "Shut It Down" on my fence. I repainted it by noon, added another camera. Linda kept pushing more complaints, more inspectors, all leaving empty-handed. She even cornered me at the mailbox one morning, hissing, "You think you're untouchable, don't you? This is my community. I'll bury you." I just sipped my coffee and said, "Good luck with that." The breaking point came when Sarah found gold in the county records. Clearview's HOA had no legal claim to the gravel road. Linda kept screaming about it was my land. Always had been, with an expired easement agreement the developer never finalized. Linda's whole crusade was built on a lie. I printed the documents, sent copies to every Clearview mailbox, and waited. The HOA's Facebook page lit up, neighbors questioning Linda's authority, her spending, her 7-year reign with no elections. One post from a mom named Emily stuck out. "Why are we harassing a farmer who's feeding us? Let him be." Another, "Linda said he was dangerous. I saw him help my kid fix a flat tire last week." The tide was turning. Then Linda sued me emotional distress, defamation, disrupting community harmony. I laughed when Sarah read it to me. "She's got gall," Sarah said. "Let's counter." We filed for harassment, property damage, and a full HOA audit. The court date came, and I stood in that dusty courtroom, watching Linda's lawyer spin a tale of me as some rogue farmer terrorizing her perfect suburb. But Sarah was ready. She showed the judge the videos: Linda's crash, her rock throwing, her fake 911 call. She laid out the zoning laws, the easement records, and a bombshell. Linda had been siphoning HOA dues in her own pocket, $600 a month for consulting fees. The judge, a grizzled guy named Hargrove, didn't even blink. "Ms. Voss, your claims are baseless." This court fined for the defendant. He ordered her to pay for my tractor, my legal fees, and a fine for false reporting. The HOA got slapped with an audit. Linda left the courtroom without a word, her face like she'd swallowed a lemon. A week later, her house was for sale. No goodbye, no HOA rant, just a moving truck and a for sale sign. The neighborhood changed after that, not overnight, but steady. The new HOA board started posting budgets, holding open meetings. Emily brought her kid over to see the tractor, and he spent an hour asking me how it worked. Neighbors waved now, asked about planting season, even invited me to a potluck. I brought cornbread, left early, but not before finding a note in my mailbox. "Thanks for standing up. You made us braver." No signature, just those words, and they hit harder than any court ruling. I'm back to my fields now, the tractor's still bearing that dent I never fixed, a badge of sorts. The air's crisp, the corn's gone, and winter rye's sprouting green. I walk the rows at dawn, listening to the quiet, the kind that comes after a fight you didn't start but had to finish. Linda thought she could control me, control this land, but she forgot something. You don't bully a man who's already faced war. You don't scare a guy who knows what's worth fighting for. So what do you think? Was I just a stubborn farmer, or was Linda the real menace? Drop a comment. Tell me your take. Have you ever dealt with someone like her? Someone who thinks they own the world? Hit that like button if you're Team Tractor, and share this if you've ever had to stand your ground. Let's hear your stories. This fight's over, but the conversation's just starting.